Jackie Stiles was a wanted murderer. He had killed 14 people over the span of 6 months, and no one could figure out how to track him down. His victims were all in the same age group, 19 to 25. Why he chose them by age, no one could guess. A young girl, about 21, woke up to a rather brightly lit room. The walls were white, there were normal blue curtains, a dresser, nightstand, bed, and family photos. She wondered where she was. It looked like an ordinary bedroom, but she didn't recognize it as belonging to one of her friends. She tried to stand, but saw she was tied to a chair with thick rope. She struggled lightly, a bit confused, when a voice came from the open door.
"That won't get you free," said Jackie.
The girl looked at him.
"Oh, hi,"
she said calmly.
"What's your name?"
Jackie furrowed his brow. "Hi?"
"Jackie Stiles,"
he said menacingly, knowing the name would strike fear in her.
"Oh, you're that murderer they've been trying to catch,"
said the girl conversationally. She had stopped struggling.
"Well, my name is Madeline, but you can call me Maddie if it's easier."
Jackie was speechless. He stood in front of her, trying to look scary. By this time, the victim would usually be screaming and crying.
"You do realize you're going to die, right?"
he asked.
"No, I totally didn't think a murderer was going to kill me,"
said Maddie sarcastically with a little smile.
"Come on, Jackie, I'm not dumb."
Jackie slumped on the end of the bed, staring at her incredulously, head tilted. Maddie struggled again briefly.
You're right. These ropes are too tight. Well, anyway, how did you knock me out? Chloroform?
"Yes,"
said Jackie slowly.
You gotta be careful with that stuff,
Maddie said calmly.
I heard that too much can actually kill you. Judging by your last victims, you like to torture them, right? So you don't want them dying prematurely.
She waited for Jackie to respond, but he was in shocked silence.
Next time, I suggest using some kind of syringe with fast-acting anesthesia or something. But I don't know, you're the expert, not me.
Jackie sat there for a few seconds, and then slowly stood up.
"I'll be right back," he said.
"'Kay,"
said Maddie, trying, but not very hard, to untie herself. Jackie went down to his kitchen and opened a cabinet, grabbing a bottle of vodka. He took a swig straight from it and shook his head. He was so baffled by his new victim's behavior, he felt he needed to loosen up a bit. He took one more drink and then went to his garage to get his toolbox. When he returned to the room, Maddie wasn't struggling anymore, but looking at a picture on the wall.
"Is that your family?"
she asked. Jackie set his toolbox on the bed, searching through it.
"Yeah,"
he replied.
"Where are they?"
"I killed them."
"Oh, okay."
Jackie turned to face her, holding a wrench in his hand.
"What's your problem, kid?"
he snapped.
"I'm going to kill you. Aren't you scared?"
"A little,"
Maddie replied with a smile.
"Then why are you trying to fight? Why are you screaming and crying?"
"Well, Jackie, it's obvious,"
said Maddie.
"I've tried already to loosen these ropes. Either they're too tight or I'm too weak. Also, if I tried to hop my chair somewhere, you'd definitely catch me. And even if you didn't, I can't grab anything because my hands are tied up. Realistically, there's absolutely no chance for me. Surely you could have figured that out."
But, what? Are you suicidal or something?"
shouted Jackie, getting frustrated.
"No,"
Maddie replied.
"I've got a pretty decent life. Don't have any problems except the usual. And I don't have any psychological or physical disorders to battle with. My parents raised me great. I got good grades in school, and I was about to start college. But, you don't always get what you want."
Jackie was stunned.
"I'm going to do horrible things to you,"
he said, thinking this was obvious.
"Are you going to have your way with me? 'Cause honestly, I don't think I'd like that,"
said Maddie.
"No, I'm not a rapist,"
said Jackie, his brow furrowed so much his eyebrows were nearly touching. Maddie let out a sigh of relief.
"Oh, good,"
she said.
"'Cause I'm still a virgin. That wouldn't be very fun."
She looked at the wrench.
"So, what are you going to do to me?"
Jackie tried to regain his composure.
"Well, I'm going to break your kneecaps first,"
he said, gently tapping the wrench head against his palm.
"Are you sure you want to do that first?"
asked Maddie, smiling as if she thought he didn't know what he was doing.
"Don't you want to build your way up? I mean, cut me, burn me, hurt me a little bit at a time? That way I suffer longer and other methods of torture will hurt even worse.
Are you a masochist?
asked Jackie.
Nope.
She was still smiling, as if this was all just a game. Jackie tapped her thigh with the wrench firmly.
Feel that?
Maddie winced, but kept smiling.
Yes,
she said.
This is a real wrench. Not some toy, not a prop. It's real.
I can see that, silly.
Jackie nearly yelled in frustration.
You know, if this is some kind of plan to use reverse psychology on me so I'd let you go, it won't work, he shouted. Making me think this doesn't matter to you won't make me change my mind.
That thought didn't cross my mind, honestly,
said Maddie with a thoughtful frown.
That'd be something, though, huh? You'd have to be an idiot to fall for that old trick.
Jackie threw the wrench at her and it clipped her shoulder. She cried out in pain. Looking at her wound, she said,
That's a lot of blood.
Ah!
Jackie shrieked.
Fine! You want to play this game? We'll play this game!
Wait!
Maddie cried, and Jackie smiled.
Oh, now you're scared? Well, too bad, Missy.
No,
Maddie interrupted.
I'm thirsty. May I have a drink?
It was too much. Jackie felt like his brain was going to burst.
Do you really... Are you serious?
Why are you so angry?
Asked Maddie, again very sincerely.
Because you're so fucking calm!
He bellowed in return.
Oh, it's probably boring,
said Maddie in an oops sort of tone.
Sorry, I forgot.
She started struggling and thrashing.
Help! Ah, this sick fuck is going to kill me!
She gave a little giggle.
Oh, I can't do it, Jackie. I was never a good actor.
If this had been a cartoon, Jackie's face would have been red and steam would be shooting from his ears. He stormed out of the room. Maddie boredly looked around the room again. She wondered how Jackie kept the room so clean. There were no bloodstains anywhere. Jackie returned with a white rectangular bottle.
You want something to drink?
He said angrily, unscrewing the cap.
I'll give you something to drink!
He grabbed Maddie's face, forced her mouth open, and poured the solution down her throat. She choked and coughed, spluttering as she jerked her head away.
What's that?
She asked, her tongue sticking out.
Pure acetone,
said Jackie with an evil laugh.
How do you like that?
Maddie spit on the floor a little bit and smacked her lips with a grimace.
Nasty,
she replied.
Definitely not my drink of choice. May I have some water?
No!
Jackie screamed, throwing the bottle as hard as he could at the wall.
No, that's it. No more games. You'll be crying and begging me for mercy soon enough.
Maddie watched calmly as he took some pliers from the toolbox. He slowly approached her, forcing her mouth open again, and yanked one of her lower teeth out. She let out a shriek, and a tear ran down her face. Jackie grinned, panting and waiting for her to beg him to stop.
Ow!
Said Maddie, feeling the gap with her tongue.
That really hurt, Jackie.
Jackie growled and began feverishly ripping out random teeth. Maddie was wincing in pain, yelping and crying as most of her teeth were forcibly removed. Jackie stood back, seeing her face, which was red from slight exhaustion. She sniffled slightly, opening her eyes.
Well,
hissed Jackie.
Ready to admit you're scared?
I never said I wasn't scared,
Maddie replied calmly, and Jackie's smile fell faster than a lead balloon.
That hurt like a bitch. Have you ever had braces? It was sort of like that, except 20 times worse.
Jackie suddenly punched her in the side of the face, giving her a black eye. She groaned, starting to sob softly.
Yeah!
Jackie sneered.
What now, huh?
Well,
she started sniffling.
I have a black eye, and I need to blow my nose. I'm in excruciating pain, and now I have a headache. And I'm still thirsty. Acetone and blood aren't very thirst-quenching.
Jackie was getting so angry he wanted to just shoot himself. He wasn't going to give her that satisfaction, though. It was time to bring out the big guns. Jackie picked up the wrench from the floor and violently smashed it repeatedly against both of Maddie's kneecaps, breaking them. Maddie was screaming and crying, in more pain than she had been in her life. Jackie was laughing, thinking he finally managed to make her break. After many hits, he stopped, staring at her with a manic smile. Maddie was crying like any regular victim would, but she wasn't thrashing.
Jackie,
she panted.
I think I swallowed one of my teeth you loosened.
Why should I care?
Jackie bellowed, and Maddie's bloody mouth turned into a kind smile.
Well, I'm not sure if you collect the teeth or anything, but I'm just letting you know that you'll have to cut my belly open to find it.
Jackie started crying now, dropping to his knees in front of her.
Why?
He whimpered.
Well, the tooth is in my stomach.
Maddie replied matter-of-factly.
No, stupid bitch!
He shouted, voice cracking.
Why the hell aren't you affected by all of this?
Jackie!
Maddie laughed.
I'm crying and bleeding. I think I'm more than affected.
No, emotionally!
I don't know,
said Maddie, sniffling up a bunch of blood and mucus.
Maybe because I know there's nothing I can do.
Jackie stared at her, sobbing.
I mean, I've had a great life, a normal life. I accomplished a lot of stuff and had good relationships with friends and family. So what if I never made it to college? Maybe I wasn't meant to go anyway. Jackie, I've had a happy life, and if I can't control whether I die or not, I accept that I'm going, because I'm dying happy.
But why?
Jackie repeated.
Why aren't you terrified? Why aren't you trying harder to escape or plead with me? Aren't you going to miss your loved ones? Aren't you sad about how torn up they'll be when they discover you're dead?
Of course I'll miss them,
Maddie replied with a shining smile.
And they sure as hell will be horrified I died. But things happen for a reason, and like I said, there's not even the slightest bit of chance I can escape from you. And anyway, look! I have barely any teeth left and will never be able to walk again! What kind of life is that?
She laughed softly and sweetly.
It's game over for me, Jackie, and I've run out of lives. I can't press continue, and I don't even think I can start over because I'm not sure if reincarnation is real. But I'm happy. I completed enough quests in my life to be satisfied.
But you're so young,
Jackie continued, still crying hard.
You have so much ahead of you, and you're the sweetest person I've ever met in my life.
Aw, thank you,
said Maddie, blushing.
You're really sweet, too.
How can you say that?
Jackie shouted.
I'm a murderer! I'm killing you! If I'm caught, I'll be put to death!
I can see the kindness in your eyes,
Maddie said softly.
You might have some problems, you might have some past trauma, and God knows why you started killing, but I know your heart is there, and it's kind. And yes, you will be put to death.
This time, Maddie was crying from happiness.
But Jackie, learn from me. Do anything and everything that makes you happy as much as you can. Make sure that when you're about to be executed, you know that there's nothing you can do but savor the time you lived.
I don't want to stop killing,
said Jackie.
That's just who I am. It's fun.
I never said you had to,
Maddie replied.
If it's murdering that makes you happy, then murder as many people as you can until you die. Live life to its fullest, and remember that you're you no matter what. People hate you for killing people. And I agree it's terribly wrong, but I know you'll get caught soon. I know you'll die. Maybe you don't deserve it, or maybe you do. We'll never know. But that doesn't matter. What matters is you. Be proud of yourself. Love yourself. And maybe, whatever happens when you die, perhaps we can be friends on the other side.
Jackie was still sobbing, but he was smiling.
You know what?
He whispered.
Let me get you a glass of water.
Oh, thank you,
said Maddie. She wished she could wipe her eyes. Jackie went back to the kitchen and took the vodka bottle he had left on the counter. He always drank because he was unhappy and ashamed, but everything had changed for him. He drained the bottle down the sink, got a glass of water, a little pudding cup, and a spoon. Then he returned to the room. Maddie was humming Let It Be.
Are you hungry?
He asked, his voice shaking.
Yeah, I could eat,
Maddie replied. Jackie tipped the water glass gently into Maddie's mouth, letting her drink. Then he set it on the floor.
Hey, Jackie, I want to say something.
Yes?
He said as he opened the pudding. Maddie laughed.
Thanks for not being a rapist.
Jackie stared at her a moment, and then they both started laughing. It was a nice moment, almost as if they were just two friends hanging out. Jackie started carefully feeding her the pudding. When it was all gone, he set the spoon and cup down to join the glass of water.
Let's let your stomach set a bit,
he said, sitting on the bed.
I don't want you to throw up.
Yeah, I like chocolate too much,
Maddie agreed.
I don't want to waste it before I die.
Jackie laughed softly, staring at her. She really was very pretty. That was the reason he had taken her. Her hair was a silver blonde, long, and her eyes were a dark brown. He had never seen any girl like her.
Let me know when you're ready,
he said.
Okay. In the meantime, how come you became a murderer?
Jackie thought for a moment and then responded.
Well,
he began.
I always had a fascination with death. Whenever I scraped myself, I would inspect the blood until it scabbed over. Sometimes I'd fall on purpose to hurt myself. Then my grandfather died when I was 12. I saw him in the casket and felt happy as opposed to sad. I hadn't hated him. I barely knew him. But seeing his lifeless body sparked something in me. I wanted to stab his body and see the blood pour out. And then I started getting into fights at school, accidentally killed a guy, and spent a year in juvie. A couple years went by and I killed my family.
That's quite a story, said Maddie. If I had ever been a killer, it'd probably be for fun, too.
You're too sweet to be a killer,
Jackie laughed.
I'll take your word for it.
She shuffled in the chair, trying to sit up a little straighter.
Okay, I'm ready.
Jackie hesitated, but then took a small handsaw from the toolbox.
I have to tell you, Maddie, before I continue,
he said with a soft smile, tears starting to emerge from his eyes.
You really are a kind girl, and you deserved your good life. And just as you said to me, I'm not sure if you deserve this or not. People will probably say you didn't. But believe it or not, this has been the happiest day I've had for a long time, and I will miss you.
We'll meet again,
said Maddie contently.
I know we will.
I hope so.
You don't feel guilty, do you?
Just a bit,
Jackie admitted.
Well, don't,
said Maddie.
This is your hobby. Enjoy it. Consider me your best project.
Jackie laughed, letting out a small sob.
Can I call you my friend?
He asked.
Of course,
said Maddie happily.
Now hurry up before you get all mushy and change your mind.
She was joking, and Jackie knew it.
All right, this is gonna hurt a lot,
he said, approaching her and holding the saw above her wrist.
I don't expect anything less,
said Maddie, but then started screaming and shrieking as Jackie sawed through her wrist, dismembering her hand. He moved to the other wrist and did the same, Maddie's body tense as she sobbed from the pain. She really wished she could wipe her eyes. Her mascara was making them burn a little bit. Jackie had dismembered her feet, too, and then raised the knife to cut off her ear.
Jackie,
she gasped weakly.
If you carve a smile into my face, I will always look happy.
Good idea, kid.
He did as she had suggested, making the carved smile stretch wide. Even though she was in the worst pain imaginable, she never felt anguish. She watched Jackie, staring into his eyes where she saw the suppressed kindness.
He'll be happy now,
she thought.
He felt like a horrible person before, but he'll be happy now.
Maddie's vision began to swim as Jackie cut her abdomen and into her stomach. Through the contents, he saw a bit of white poking out. He grabbed it, laughing softly.
Found your tooth,
he said.
Told you,
Maddie forced out, barely sobbing because she was so dizzy. Jackie smiled and stood above her. He started stroking her hair, and she closed her eyes. And he slit Madeline's throat.